right, the Royal New Zealand College of GPs is calling on the government to ensure we can develop an independent vaccine. In other words, we'll make it ourselves. Joining us to discuss, Dr. Brian Betty, College of GPs Medical Director. Good morning. It's a nice idea, because we obviously don't want to be squabbling and battling with the rest of the world for vaccines when we need boosters. But do you think we're up to the task?
Oh, look, I definitely think we have the capability within New Zealand to go down this track. We've certainly got the expertise, and with the new mRNA vaccines, as they're called, the ability to produce them is actually there. Interestingly enough, New Zealand actually produces animal vaccine already, so it does have some sort of vaccine capability. I think we need to get beyond the short term and what's happening here and think longer term. If we do need recurrent boosters, if we do need recurrent vaccines for mutations that perhaps won't be responsive to the existing vaccines, we may be in a cycle of needing to produce vaccine. And in that situation, I don't think we can be totally dependent on international vaccine supply, and we need to think longer term about what's happening here.
Look, you're making perfect sense to me. I'm hearing you loud and clear, because look at the situation that we're in right now, right, where the rest of the world, well, half the rest of the world is vaccinated. The UK's at nearly 70% this morning. And we're somewhere down on 10 or 11. So it makes sense. Have you spoken to the government about this? Do you know what their position is?
Look, at the moment, they're not looking at this as a potential option. I think there's been some preliminary work, but there has been a lot of discussion amongst medical circles about whether this does need to occur and how it needs to occur. I think we need a transparent, open debate about this, because it is about protection of New Zealand. It is about making sure we can move forward in a very, very changed international environment. The key fundamental issue here, Ryan, is COVID isn't going to go away. No. I'd love to say 2 vaccine shots and it's all over and it's all finished. Highly unlikely that's going to be the situation going forward.
Brian, are you saying the animal vaccines that you mentioned, are you saying we could potentially ramp up or just alter what we're doing with animal vaccines, use that same expertise and maybe even facilities to create vaccines for humans?
Oh, no, look, I'm not saying that. It's just an example of the fact that we can produce vaccine in New Zealand.
Right.
I think this would be separate to that and it would need to be thought of separately. But the technology, the ability to do these new vaccines has moved along leaps and bounds over the last few years. And that probably gives us a technological base to actually start to think about doing this within New Zealand and producing vaccines, so we're not totally liable on the international vaccine scramble that's actually happening at the moment.
All right. Thank you so much for that this morning. Great to have you on the show. That is the Medical Director from the College of GPs, Dr. Brian Betty. The time now is 7:30, which means we'll have time